Okay. Thank you. My name is Emma Steckner, and 5 years ago I was a competitive Highland dancer. I won sprinting and long distance awards, and had a great group of friends who I would see nearly every day. Now I attend less than one period of school a day, and even standing and walking can be quite difficult, as you just saw. It started when I constantly felt cold in the summer before grade 8, and I spent nearly all of it under a blanket, shivering. I gave up dance, I lost focus in class, and by graduation night I was so weak that the principal had to help me walk across the stage. It was humiliating in front of everyone. As my family and I began to accept that I was sick with something, we looked for help. I was placed in a hospital psychiatric unit where I was promised by the psychiatrist I would be fast-tracked for medical tests that in the end I would never receive. The pediatric rheumatologist decided that, after a very short consultation and little more than a reflex test, there was nothing wrong with me, and eventually the psychiatrist diagnosed me with conversion disorder, a psychiatric illness characterized by neurological symptoms following a traumatic event, despite the fact that I never experienced such a thing. After 2 months in their boot camp, I was left bedridden, unable to walk without assistance, and in nearly unbearable pain for months. My dad would have to carry me upstairs from my bedroom to just eat breakfast every morning. My pediatrician diagnosed me with fibromyalgia, and she directed me to another pediatric rheumatologist who told me that I had what he called pain amplification syndrome, his term for fibromyalgia, and benign joint hypermobility. I didn't fully understand that this was essentially Ehlers-Danlos, and even when presented with this diagnosis, he was still dismissive. Nonetheless, he was one of the first people to ever truly recognize that hypermobility was the cause of my pain. As you can imagine, this has caused a huge amount of stress in my family. My mum, who has been sick with what now known as Ehlers-Danlos for years, originally misdiagnosed as chronic fatigue syndrome, had to give up her job to help me take care of myself and go to appointments for the both of us. Amongst these appointments were long trips to Bloorview Hospital, whose rehab program helped me get back to school. Our family sold our house, which my parents had always described as our dream home ever since I was a child. I missed a year and a half of school and have yet to make a full class day since grade 8. My twin sister, Julia, is now in grade 12. Roughly a year and a half ago, I received my diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. My amazing pediatrician had directed me to a geneticist at McMaster who was finally able to put the pieces together, and I could finally know what caused my pain. My mum, who is wonderfully supportive, found the ILC Foundation in her research. Their help to me has been the biggest turning point in my illness. Even when I had my diagnosis, I had been told that the treatment for EDS is the same treatment as it is for fibromyalgia. The ILC helped the rest of my family see Dr. Lee, who I think is here today, and we now know that 4 out of our family of 5 have EDS. The ILC helped me meet other teens who are sick like me and showed me I'm not alone in this illness. And of course, the ILC is the reason I found Dr. Henderson and have hope of living with manageable symptoms. So I'm so grateful to Sandy for all the help she has provided for my family and I. It means a lot. My hope for the future is that with your help, I can get treatment at home in Ontario. Getting surgery in the US for at least 2 people in my family is wickedly expensive, as others have found before me. I really believe that we have the resources to change how people like me are perceived, diagnosed, and treated, and for the first time, I feel hopeful that treatment options might be available in Ontario rather than simply symptom management. I can now hope of attending university to complete my dream of becoming a forensic pathologist. And no, it's not the CSI effect.